Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Esli from inkeandthebrain and today I have a super duper exciting video. I'm over the moon about this one, y'all. I know I'm always excited, but I'm like so extra excited about this one. This is a collab with some of my planner besties, women that I've never met in real life, but I hope to maybe someday, but I've never met them in real life, but we talk basically every single day and we just so enjoy talking, and we're all Harry Potter fans, so we decided to do this like Harry Potter collab together. And I'm so excited to be able to share, you know, with y'all about Harry Potter, but also I cannot wait to watch their videos. Like, I am most excited about watching their videos and seeing what their like kind of like insight into Harry Potter is and all of that. Like, I just cannot wait. So the people in this collab are Sammy from ArtBox Stickers. This kit is actually from ArtBox Stickers. I'll go through it in a moment. Then you have Lindsay from MyCraftyPlans, and then Lauren from LaurenPlans. So they're all here on YouTube, as well as Instagram. So their YouTube and Instagram, and then also Sammy's shop ArtBox Stickers will all be linked down below. If this happens to be your first stop, please make sure and give them some love. I know y'all have heard me talk about them because, well, I just love them, and then also because I have done a collab with them in the past, so I know that y'all have already heard lots about them in the past, at least from me. Now, if this is not your first stop, if you're coming from one of their videos, thank you, first of all. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you stick around and enjoy it. If you do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around. But let me go ahead and go through the kit. Let me zoom y'all in here so that we can look at this kit together, because it's just absolutely magnificently gorgeous. I think that's a little like too close. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is from Sammy, like I mentioned. She does all of her own kits, so this is all her artwork, and it is beautiful. And this kit, like, look at this. Doesn't this just make you think of the first book or the first movie if you're, you know, if you're not into the books? Like, it's like the first book in a kit. Like, you have, you know, like his letter, you have him getting sorted, you have, you know, like the snitch and the sorceress or philosopher's stone, whatever, depending where you're from. You have Ollivander, you have, you know, like all of these things that are just like basically the first book, like in a kit. I think we all need to petition Sammy to do like a kit per book. Like, am I the only one that's totally on board with that? I would totally do 2 months worth of Harry Potter, like perfectly okay with that. But anyway, it's just so gorgeous. So these are the full boxes. You have your date covers, you have some sidebar stickers, weekend banners, some labels, you have your ombre heart checklist, or ombre circles checklist. You have your bottom washi, which I'm not going to cut it down like for Simply Gilded washi because I don't want to mess with the artwork. But I'm thinking I might try to stick some baby bows in there, of course, right? Because it's me. And then you have your headers and little things, and you have your half boxes, your like scallop checklists. You have some functional script kind of icons, and then this sheet is actually an add-on. So this the glitter header, like, and then some like functional icons and such, this is an add-on. So this is the kit, and then this you have to pick separate. So that is the kit that I'm going to be using. I'm so excited to see also what kits they're going to be using, because we didn't like agree on a kit or anything, just kind of like went with a Harry Potter vibe or feel, and I can't wait to see what all they picked out. So we are going to be answering the same questions. Mostly Lindsay, I believe, came up with a bunch of Harry Potter questions, and it's about like our relationship with the book, and then our, you know, some of our favorite moments or characters, or, you know, what we think of certain things. So it's really not like, I don't know, I think the questions that that we have here are like really well thought out, and I cannot wait to share my answers with y'all. But mostly I just can't wait to watch their videos. So I am going to be pulling in some Simply Gilded washi. I have so much washi that I pulled, y'all. Like, I have no idea. These are all from the pre-sale, so if you're looking for a kit that's not a fall kit that you want to use your pre-sale kit with, like, yeah, hello, perfect match here. So make sure you go and check out this kit because you need it. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started. I am going to, of course, do the rest as a voiceover so that I can go through the questions. I do just want to mention that I am going to be basically doing a rewind plan with me for this week that y'all would have seen pretty recently. I'll link it up above. But anyway, with all that said, thank you so much. Like I said, if you're here from one of their videos, thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, y'all, we're going to get started with these questions. I'm super excited to answer, but there are quite a few to get through, so I'm going to go into that in a second. I just first want to mention, obviously I'm going to be talking about the books and the movies. If for any reason you have not read or seen them, then welcome to spoilers. Just saying that, I realize they've been out forever, but you just never know, and I just don't want to, like, I guess upset anyone. And then second is, these are my opinions, obviously, so, you know, just take them for what they are. I don't know everything about the Harry Potter world. I wish I did, but, you know, just putting that out there. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, I do want to quickly mention also, pretty much all of the foiled stickers you're going to see me put down are from ArtBox Stickers. There's a few from my shop, of course, and there are, you know, all the washi Simply Gilded, the kit is ArtBox Stickers, and there's a few like Munchkins here and there and such. But if you do have any questions about any specific sticker, please, of course, just let me know, send me a message, leave me a comment, and I will let you know. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So I am switching the order of these. I don't know exactly what order everyone else is going to answer them in, but it just made sense for me to like start with the one I'm going to start with. So, alright, so the first is, when did you first read and how did you get into them? So for me, it was actually like a lot later. I did not grow up reading them. I very easily could have, I guess, but because I was always reading. But I think I've mentioned before, I went to like a super conservative high school, y'all, like super conservative. We were not allowed to read Harry Potter. We were not allowed to talk about Harry Potter. Harry Potter was considered witchcraft. So it was like just not a thing, basically. Now, of course, there were people that were like into it. Like I know one of my best friends, he was like into it. He had like read them and such, but it just wasn't like something that was discussed, you know, at my school at least. And when I got out of high school and got into college, I remember going to see like some of the movies with my best friend. He was really into the movies, and he would like drag me. Like I remember going to like a couple of the midnight showings because he would like make me go. Like not just me, like it was like a little group of us, and we would go. So yeah, that was kind of my experience with them. I liked the movies, I enjoyed the movies, I thought they were wonderful, but like, was I like super like gung-ho Harry Potter? Like, no. Honestly, I think it's really hard to be like gung-ho Harry Potter if you haven't read the books, because I don't even understand how anyone could possibly understand the movies without the books. You know, like there's so many gaps and holes, and like none of it, I feel like it wouldn't make sense, really truly, unless you've actually read the book. So, but anyway, yeah, that was my experience with it. And then when the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando opened, I went on a vacation, and I just fell in love. I fell in love with everything. I was so amazed by everything. I was just like, it was amazing. And that's when I was like, wow, okay, I need to read these books. So as soon as I got back home, I remember I like went to Barnes & Noble, picked one up, read it within a day, went back the next day, picked up another one, read it in a day, and I was like, okay, maybe I should get like more than one at a time, because I was like making trips to Barnes & Noble every day. And I went through them super fast, and I remember like staying up all night reading them because I just could not put them down, and I think that they were the first books that just made me like hold my breath. I remember just like, oh my gosh, like I can't even breathe. Like it was just so amazing. So such an amazing thing to read those books. And it's just wonderful. So that's when I got into it. I don't know, it was sometime whenever, like a year after the Harry Potter world opened. Now the last movie was not out yet, the very last one, but the Deathly Hallows Part 1 was out at that point. I had not seen it though, and I remember after I read the books, I went and watched that one, and then I remember being super excited about the last movie. Like that one, I was like so excited to watch it. So yeah, somewhere I don't know when it, like right before basically the last movie came out is whenever I saw them. So I don't remember what year that was. I feel like it was 2011 maybe ish. Yeah. probably. So yeah, that was my kind of introduction into Harry Potter. Now the next question is favorite book / movie or order of both. I can't put them in order. I tried, I just can't, because then I feel guilty, like that I'm like moving some down and moving some up and such. So we're just gonna go through kind of like my few favorites and few least favorites and such. So as for the books, we'll start there, because I feel like my movie part might be like slightly controversial, so I don't like, I'll wait for a second for that. So for the books, my absolute favorite book is The Goblet of Fire, which is the 4th book. It's the biggest book, and I just remember that book being the very first book in my entire life that actually made me like gasp. It made me, I remember at one point, like when the poop hit the fan, y'all, like at the end of that book, the whole scene where like Cedric dies and Voldemort comes back and all of that, I remember putting the book down and having to like look around, and I was like, like I remember having to take like a deep breath, because I didn't even know, like I couldn't process so quickly like everything that was happening, and I was just freaking out, and it was so amazing to read. I just absolutely love that book. With like after like rereading it, I don't know if I would like still put it up as high, but I'm leaving it as my number 1 because I just remember the feeling that it first gave me, and it was an absolutely amazing feeling, and I will never be able to get that back. I do remember telling my sister, my older sister, I was like telling her, you need to read these, you need to read these, you need to read these. She was all into like Twilight at the time, and just like this random side story, but if y'all have read Twilight, do you remember that scene in Twilight where they're like showing you how the months are rolling by her, and she's describing like that hole in her chest, and she doesn't feel complete and all these things, and just if you've read the books and you understand like how absolutely painful that was. And I remember telling my sister, because she was into Twilight, and I was like, do you remember that feeling? Yeah, you remember how horrible that was, and like how you felt it in your soul? And she was like, yeah, I remember. And I was like, well, it's nothing compared to what Harry Potter makes you feel. And she just looked at me like, it was just so funny. And I told her that, and I remember telling her, my only regret about having read these books is that I will never be able to read them for the first time again. And that is so true. I won't be able to have that first experience with them again, because you know, you obviously lose that element of surprise. But yeah, they're just wonderful and magical. But anyway, so that's my favorite book. As far as my least favorite book, I don't really even know if I have one. It's really difficult. I feel like Chamber of Secrets kind of drags a little bit. I feel like I don't remember if it was Order of the Phoenix. Not my favorite, but I wouldn't necessarily like say it's like my least favorite or that I don't like it. Just not my favorite. Like I would just say that, like not my favorite. My favorite ones are definitely number 4, and then Deathly Hallows, the last one, because again, you know, that scene where Harry Potter dies and all of that whole like, oh, that was just like so amazing to read. Especially because, like I said, I hadn't seen the movies, or at least the last movie at that point. Now, as far as the movies, I have some, like, really, I feel like maybe interesting thoughts about the movies. Now, I do realize that this is going to be probably unpopular opinion. I know that so many people just absolutely love the movie The Prisoner of Azkaban, and I am just not on that train. I am just not on it, y'all. My least favorite movies are the 3rd and 4th movies. I get it. I understand why they were made the way they were made. I understand that the director of the 3rd movie, Alfonso, I can't remember his last name, I do realize that he was considered, you know, like it's considered one of the best movies because of all the artistry that he brought in, and it was just beautiful, and it is. I totally agree that it's a beautiful movie, but I just did not get it. I hated those weird heads on the bus, and I feel like I read somewhere that like J.K. Rowling was like into that like, that she was, like that she liked them, and that she had wished, like, I can't remember if I read this or if I saw this somewhere, but, or if someone just said it, but that apparently J.K. Rowling had said that she wished she had thought of that, which no, like I don't get. I hated those weird heads. I hated the costuming, especially in the fourth movie where they made them so grungy, all the long hair and stuff. And the third movie, how they made Hermione like all pretty. You know, like she was like super like nerdy looking before, and I get it. I get what they were doing, and I understand, but I just really did not like that. Like that whole swaying of the house, the Shrieking Shack at the end there, when they're in there with like Sirius and Peter Pettigrew, and Lupin. I hated like the house was like moving, and it was honestly making me sick like watching it. And I don't remember if that's in the book. I feel like it's not. Like the house moving, you know. I don't know. I can't remember. But the point is, I just didn't like it. I did not enjoy it. And then the fourth movie also, because of that, like I hated the costuming and just everything that they did with them. And then it felt, because I had loved that book so much, it just felt like a slap in the face to that book, because I felt like that is one of the least accurate movie to book representation. And I get it, you had to cut down a huge book down to like basically 2 hours. I totally understand, but it just nope, hurts my heart, y'all, hurts my heart. And then as far as favorite movie, I would say probably the last one, because I feel like it was just, you know, it was a beautiful ending. It was just gorgeous to look at. I feel like they did such an amazing job. The effects of that movie, everything, like it was just so beautiful. And then also, dang, I can't remember what movie it is. The one where they're like in the Ministry of Magic and all the little like things fall, and then Voldemort shows up and he like battles with Dumbledore. Oh my gosh, what movie is that? Is that Order of the Phoenix? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I thought that whole scene, like when the shards of glass like go through to Dumbledore and then he like basically turns him into like that sand, I thought that was a beautiful scene. So I really enjoyed that, like some parts of that movie. So yeah, but still not into number 3 or number 4. I just did not like those. Next is, how many times have you read? How often do you reread? I don't often reread. I do often re-listen. I have all the books on Audible, and I just listen to them like basically all of the time. Same with the movies. I have them on all of the time for like background noise, background, you know, sound. As far as read the actual physical books, I have only read them through, like from the first all the way to the very last, read them through twice. I have picked up different books and like read them at, you know, like random other times. So I think at most I've read maybe one of the books maybe 4 or 5 times. But like the whole entire series, I've only read it through twice. I've probably listened to it, I don't know, I can't even count, and watched it also, can't even count. Favorite scene that always stands out to me, or to you is the question. So, favorite scene that always stands out, I feel like the death scenes always stand out so much to me. I bawl hysterically when I'm watching these movies, and I don't know how anyone couldn't. My boyfriend, we just went through them recently. I wanted to watch them again, and then he had never really seen all of them. He had seen them like in random order. He had never like seen them all because, oh yeah, I don't know, he's crazy. And I was like bawling, and he's like, "Why do you enjoy watching these? Like you're just crying the whole time." But it's just, you know, I don't know. It's so sad. It just breaks my heart. The scene where Cedric dies and his dad like comes out of the crowd and he's like, my boy, and oh my god, it just like tears my heart apart. And then the scene where Dumbledore dies and everyone like raises their wand. I think that's such a powerful scene. But I think as far as in the movies, my absolute favorite scene is when McGonagall and, well, all the teachers are putting like the protection spells on the castle. You know, like right before the Battle of Hogwarts, and when McGonagall I can't remember the like what she says, that spell that like makes the castle like come to life, and like, you know, those things start like marching towards the front like to protect the castle. That scene makes me bawl like hysterically. I can't get over it. I love it so much. So yeah, just kind of random. So anyway, next is so me at Hogwarts. So the next questions are about me if I were at Hogwarts. So first is, what house are you in? Now my house is, dun, 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 drum roll please. Just kidding. My house is, I'm a Gryffindor. Now I have taken the Pottermore test about 800,000 times. I've taken various tests, probably more than that. And I have come up Gryffindor 99% of the time. I came up Slytherin once. I came up Hufflepuff once. I don't think I've ever come up Ravenclaw, which kind of makes me feel dumb, y'all. but yeah. I think if I were at Hogwarts, though, I don't think the Sorting Hat would put me in Gryffindor, because I don't know if I want to be in Gryffindor. Like, I don't really, like, I mean, I feel like Gryffindors are supposed to be, like, prideful, or, like, you know, proud of their house, and, like, I'm cool if I were a Hufflepuff. I always wanted to be a Hufflepuff because my favorite color is yellow, so I thought it just made sense for me to be a Hufflepuff, but I'm always Gryffindor. And you know how you can take that test where it like breaks down like what percent of like what house you're in and such. My top one is always Gryffindor, and my second one is always Slytherin. So yeah, that's that. What would your favorite class be? I want to say, okay, so when I first was thinking about this, my first like thought was charms, of course, because who doesn't want to use like their wand properly, and who doesn't want to like, you know, I feel like I would want to learn charms. That's what I would want to learn, you know, most at Hogwarts. But then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, no, I want to learn potions. And then I was like, no, what about like history of magic and, you know, study of ancient runes? Like, I would even love that. I think I would actually really love that. So honestly, I think all the classes I would love. I think the only one I wouldn't want to do is arithmancy, because I don't think even in like a magical world I could do math. So yeah, that's a thing. Next is favorite magical item from the book. I'm gonna go with the pensieve or pensieve. I know it's like pronounced differently, but that is what I would want if I could have any magical item. Well, I guess other than a wand. I mean, are we going that basic? Because I feel like obviously I would need the wand if I wanted the pensieve to work. But if I already, assuming I already had a wand, then I would want a pensieve. And that is because I've read from the pensieve, like things that I've read about it, are it's not just, I mean, first of all, I'm an incredibly forgetful person. How amazing would it be if I could take a memory out of my brain and then like have it stored forever, and then I could be like, hey, look, that happened, and I remember every detail of it. Like, yes, that's amazing. But then also, coming from a person, I have talked about it very little on my channel, but I have dealt with anxiety a lot in my life, very, very terribly. And if I could, the idea of being able to take thoughts out of my brain and just kind of store them, just have them chill out for a while, that just sounds amazing. Like, that just sounds amazing, to unclutter your mind and just have kind of like leave basic things in. That would be like the greatest thing. So yes, definitely want a pensieve if I already had the wand. And then favorite spell or most useful spell. As far as most useful spell, obviously Accio, y'all. Like, obviously, hello, like Accio remote, Accio cell phone, Accio leftover pizza that's currently in the fridge. Accio sandwich. No, just me. Am I the only one trying to get food with the Accio? I'm ridiculous, y'all. But yes, obviously I feel like that would be the most useful spell. Like, you know, at least in my simple world, I guess. As far as favorite spell, though, I would say, I think, now I'm like blanking, but I think it's like Protego Totalum, again with the protection charms, because like, I want to put protection enchantments on my house, and my parents' house, and my sisters, and, you know, all the people that I love. So yeah, that's the one spell that I would want to be able to do. All right, moving on. Next one is, who do you ship? I'm gonna be super honest, y'all. I don't really ship anyone, like anyone. So as far as, well, okay, I'll take that back. Obviously, like, I feel like all of the books are based on love, right? You know, Harry Potter saved by love, Voldemort that can't feel love, you know, the background story between Snape and Lily and the depth of that love. But as far as like the teeny boppery, like the main character relationships, no, I don't care about them. I really don't. I wish they were out of the books. I wish they were out of the movies. I do really enjoy the relationship between Ginny and Harry in the book. In the movies, they're awkward and weird and unnecessary, and that moment where she ties his shoe, like, what even is that, you know? I don't know. I was not into their relationship in the book, or I'm sorry, in the movie at all. As far as Ron and Hermione, I don't know if I like really carry their way. I feel like it's fine, they ended up together, like whatever. I really like, I can't say that I ship some people or others not, because I just like, I feel like that's not what that world to me, like that's not like what I actually care about in that world. Do I really want to see, well, I'll talk about it more in a moment, but I really want to see some more of Dumbledore's story, but I'll tell you all about that in a second, which is the next question. So what side backstory spin-off series would you most want to see? I am very excited about the next movie, the, you know, Crimes of Grindelwald, because I'm hoping that we get to see a lot more of Dumbledore. You know, I don't know exactly where that story's gonna go. Like, I don't know if it's gonna visit, like, their younger years. I would love to see kind of like their love story, you know, Dumbledore and Grindelwald. I think that would be really, really interesting to watch. And as far as, I mean, any character, honestly, like J.K. Rowling, just give us more stuff, like more stuff for me to read. I want to know the backstory of everyone. You know, obviously we have read some of the backstories. If you go to Pottermore, there's a lot more and things like that. So I do know, like, some backstories of some characters. But I honestly, I feel like I could read all of them about anyone, you know, like give me a whole book about anyone of the people in the books, and I would want to read it. Alright, so moving on, the last thing here is the thoughts on redemption and or goodness of certain characters, which is Malfoy, Snape, and Dumbledore. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to start with Snape, because I feel like we all already believe his redemption and his goodness, and because everything he did was for the love of Lily, basically. And I feel like the movies did a good job at showing it. Obviously not the same as the books, it never is, but I feel like they did a really great job at kind of making you understand. Oh, that's another moment that stands out, you know, when he's there, like, crying, and he's like, take them, like, you know, take his tears, like, as if he's begging, like, please take them, so that you understand, you know, like, what he did, like, the things that he did, just because he loved Lily so much. So, I think, I mean, do I think he was, like, a great guy? No. I mean, obviously he was still, you know, with the bad people, basically. But I think everything he did was ultimately for Lily. And so, in my eyes, he is good and he is totally redeemed. Next is Malfoy. I don't think Malfoy was bad. I think Malfoy was caught up in what his parents wanted and how he grew up, you know, what he grew up believing. Do I think he was a jerk? Yes. Do I think he was a bully? Yes. But I feel like the book didn't explore, like, how tortured the movie didn't really explain or show you how tortured he really was by him having to, like, you know, when he's supposed to kill Dumbledore. So no, I don't think he was bad. you know, he didn't kill Dumbledore. He could have exposed Harry, Ron, and Hermione whenever they were at Bellatrix's house, and he chose not to. So I think at that point he was already like realizing, you know, that he was on the wrong side, basically. And yeah, so I don't see him as bad. I just see him as a, you know, a kid, a young, confused kid who was, you know, from the wrong family, basically, I guess. I don't know. And then next is Dumbledore. I don't think Dumbledore was bad. Maybe I just think everyone is good, y'all. Like, maybe that's my problem, but I don't know. So I don't think, so my thing with Dumbledore is, I think he was just really in love with Grindelwald. I think that because of his affection for him, or love, whatever, I think that he kind of fell into that, you know, like the for the greater good kind of thing. I know that he himself says like that he wanted power and that he wanted all of this, but I really think it was because of Grindelwald. Like, I don't know if it necessarily, like, if he would have even gone down that route of exploring that had it not been for him. And I think, I mean, he like didn't allow himself basically to be Minister of Magic and all of these things because he knew he couldn't control it. So I think that because he like knew that and he accepted that, then I think he was fine, you know, like in my eyes he was good. So I think, I don't know, I feel like there's so much there, and that's why like I wish that was like one of the stories that I knew a lot more about. But I think that he just lived with so much guilt, and because of the death of Ariana, I don't think he would have gone bad after that. Because I think that's probably what kind of snapped him back into reality. I don't know. These are my thoughts. I have no idea. Like I said, I haven't read absolutely everything that's out there about Dumbledore, so I'm sure if I read more, then I would understand more. But that's what I think. I think he could have been bad, but I think he was just kind of like sucked into that world because of Grindelwald and because he loved him so much. And then the death of Ariana kind of brought him back to life, and having to live with that guilt and that, you know, that burden, because even if he wasn't sure that it was him that killed her, he was the one that was responsible for her. So I can imagine he's just, you know, that was his burden to carry. And I think because of that, he made himself be good, even though I think he could have been and maybe wanted to be bad. I don't know. Anyway, that was a lot of explanation, I guess, for that. But that is it, y'all. That is all of my answers to the questions here. I am super duper excited to hear what Lindsay, Lauren, and Sammy have to say about these. I cannot wait to go watch their videos. So make sure you do too. Check them out. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think, like, of some of these questions. Answer one of these questions here for me in the comments, whichever one you want, or anyone you have thoughts on, or if you, like, disagree with me or agree with me, whatever it may be, let me know, because I want to know, like, everybody's answers. I want to know what everybody thinks about the Harry Potter world and everything about it. So, let me know. If you did enjoy, please give me a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe if you are new here. I would really appreciate it if you hung out with me. And thank you so much for giving me the time and watching this video. I hope y'all are all well, and I will talk to y'all very, very soon. Bye, everyone.